Welcome. In this video, we'll review the discussion tool for Blackboard Learn. We'll start first with an overview of the discussion tool, where you'll learn how to navigate the discussion board, the forum page, and the thread detail page. After that, we'll review how to create a discussion forum and how to create threads in a forum. Next, we'll review moderating and managing discussion forums. And then finally, we'll take a look at grading discussion forums. Let's get started by taking a look at the student view of the discussion board. By looking at the student experience, we can also get a general overview of the discussion board. So depending on how your course has been set up, students can access the discussion board from three basic places. You can access the discussion board from the course menu here on the left, and here you can see I have a link titled Discussions. You also can go to a content area and put a link to a discussion board in a content area, or within a learning module. Here I have a link to a specific discussion forum. So those are three different ways that you can set up your course for students to find the discussions. Instructors have one additional way to access the discussion board, and that's down in the course management menu. Expand the course tools menu, and you can click discussion board. Here you'll see that there is a listing of several different discussion boards. There is one main discussion board for the group, and that one has either the number of your course in it or the name of your course. Any other discussion boards are related to small groups that you've created. So here we'd want to click on the main discussion board. Your main discussion board holds all of the forums that you've created in a course. I'll give you a couple of ideas for things that are very helpful on this course. First of all, this link right here, the More Help link, gives you lots of information and defines different terms that are used or different options that are used. So here you can get information about what the forum information field is, about setting forum availability, date and time restrictions, about all of the different forum settings that you can set to define how you want students to participate in the discussions. Talks about associating rubrics for grading your discussions, and then managing those associated rubrics. On the discussion board itself, you'll see there's an option here to create a new forum. You can search all of the forums here, and you can search with a keyword in the current discussion board or in all forums in the course, which means that you can also search those forums that are in small groups. And you can also use date criteria for your search. Over here is a reorder forum tool where you can highlight a forum and then you can click the arrow to move it into the desired location. Here you'll see that the forums are listed with the name of the forum and the description. And then you'll see over here that it gives you the number of total posts within a forum, how many posts are unread, which you can always click that number to see your unread posts, and also the total participants. So in this forum, I have 4 participants. They have generated 23 total posts, and 7 of those posts are unread. And scrolling down to the bottom of the discussion board, here you can edit paging to determine how many forums will show up on the discussion board, and you can also click Show All to have them all show up on one page. So now let's take a look at a forum page. This is the forum detail page for the first discussion here. Again, there's another More Help option here. You have 2 different views that you can use to look at the discussion forum. You have List View here, and you also have Tree View. So for instructors, some options that can be selected using the action link in List View, and this is an action link here. These options are not available in Tree View. Tree View shows you the expanded hierarchy of the discussion forum. So you'll see the parent post or the main post and then all of the replies in order. And you can collapse and expand your view of each of these. Those that are unread are highlighted, and those that are read are not highlighted. Over here, you'll see the author and the date and time of the post. List view shows the title of the original post. Here in this view you see also the author, the status. All of these have been published. None of them are in draft form. If I were to have posted something and it was in draft form, it would show draft there. Tags, which we'll talk about a little bit later. And then again, any unread posts, which you can click there to read those. And then you can see the total posts over here. On the action bar, you have the option to create a new thread here. And each one of these is a thread. You can grade the discussion forum. You can moderate a discussion forum. And when you click the moderation button, it'll take you to the moderation queue, and that's where the discussion board managers and moderators can either publish the submitted posts or send them back to their authors. Here, students can subscribe or unsubscribe to forum posts. Here you can search, same way that you can on the discussion board. You can choose what to display. You can display everything, only published threads, hidden threads, locked threads, unavailable threads, and only drafts. Over here, anything that has been tagged, you can choose to just view threads that have a particular tag. So I want to go back to the thread actions, which can either be accessed through the action link or by checking a box and going up to thread actions. Marking red means that it's no longer highlighted. Mark unread highlights it for you to go back and look at it. Set flag displays flags that have been set for posts for later attention. You can clear any flags that you have set once you're finished tending to those posts. You can publish a draft. You can hide a thread. You can make a thread unavailable and so not visible to students. You can lock a thread, which means that the thread will be visible, but students won't be able to reply to it or edit. And you can unlock a locked thread. If you see here, when I click on this thread, Hi, I'm Rose, you see that it starts with the first post and then all of the replies. If I click on unread posts, it just collects the unread posts, so it won't show me in the hierarchy of the posts, of all of the posts that are in a thread. Collecting all threads can help you read and get a more global sense of what's going on in a discussion. To collect all of the threads in a discussion forum, you can click this top button, select Collect, and then you can see them all in the order that they're posted. This puts all of the threads in a list, making them a little bit easier to view. You also can select Print Preview to create a PDF or to actually print out the discussion posts. You can filter the posts. You can sort them by thread order or author's last name or by other criteria. And here you can use either the back button or the breadcrumbs, these are breadcrumbs here, to get back to the discussion board. Finally, on the forum detail page, you can select a thread in the forum to delete by clicking the box and then selecting delete. Let's review the thread detail page. In the forum, I'm going to click on a thread title. In Blackboard Learn Service Pack 12, which is this new updated version, all threads now appear on a single page. Images of course members now appear next to their posts. To make replying easy, the content editor appears immediately below the message you are replying to. You're not taken to a new page to post a reply, which allows you to refer to any post on the page. As you can see when you hover over this post, the options appear to reply, quote, edit, and delete. There are the options to expand and collapse to manage the visibility of the posts on the page. You can move your mouse over certain areas to view options like moderate, search, and refresh. If you have unread posts here, you can click the number of unread posts to view a page containing only the unread posts in one thread. When viewing a thread, a badge appears next to a forum manager or moderator's name. You can point to the badge to see the user's course role Here, I'm an instructor and also a manager. Manager is my forum role. The dates for posts appear as relative dates, such as 1 year ago. Hopefully it hasn't been that long since you've posted. When you point to the relative data, you can view the absolute date of creation or editing and the number of views. New mark as read indicators show a blue icon means unread, and a white icon means that the post has been read. Posts are marked as read as you scroll down the page after a slight delay. Only expanded posts that you view on screen are marked as read. Posts are not automatically marked as read by quickly scrolling down the page. You can click the icon to manually change the status of a message. You can also flag posts you want to review again later or indicate them as important. Point to any post to reply, quote, expand or collapse, and any other available functions. Click Collapse to fold up one single post. This increases the vertical screen space available for viewing posts. If an instructor has enabled rate posts, it will show here. Simply hover over the stars and then click for the amount of stars that you would like to rate the post with. Next, let's look at replying to a post. Hover over a post and click the reply button, and you'll see the content editor inline. Here you can view the original post and access all the tools in the content editor. You can add attachments and then select Cancel, Save as Draft, or Submit. Organizing and printing posts can be done by selecting the boxes that appear above the post, going to Message Actions, and selecting Collect. This will display the posts as a collection. You can use the Sort By and Order By options to further refine and organize your view. You can select Filter in the action bar to see posts made by a particular person. And once you filter the posts, you can then select Print Preview and can print only that person's posts if you wish. To search posts, click Search, select the area to search, which can be in your current discussion board, all forums in the course, and click Go once you've selected all your criteria. To collect the posts at a forum level, select all of the threads in the forum, and then click Collect. Next, we'll take a look at how to create a discussion forum. First, go to the action bar and click Create Forum. Add your discussion title, and this is required. In the description field, you'll want to type the instructions for what you'd like students to do in the discussion forum. This description will appear above the message box where students input their thread post. Select your forum availability options and forum settings. There are several settings that you can choose from, and some settings are dependent on others and may not be available or may appear when you select a certain option. Settings that are not available will display in gray or with strike-through text. They're organized by category. The first category is viewing threads and replies. Here you can see the standard view, which is the view that we have been using. And there's a second option here. This is the post first option. This means that the participants must actually create a thread in order to be able to view any other threads that other students have posted in a forum. Grading is the next option. Users' posts can be graded in two different ways. Users can have their overall participation in a forum graded. This is an option that creates a column in the Grade Center and requires a points possible entry when the forum is created. Users can also be graded on a thread-by-thread basis. This option creates a column in the Grade Center when the discussion board manager creates the thread. If threads are graded, members cannot create new threads. So here I'm going to go ahead and create a forum that's a graded forum, and I'm not going to be grading thread by thread. It's worth 10 points. And this option here, Show Participants in Needs Grading Status, What this means is that I can determine at what point, after how many posts that a student makes, do I want them to appear in needs grading status in the Grade Center. So if my assignment requires that a student post 3 times, 1 first post and then 2 responses to other folks' posts in a forum, then I can say that I want that participant to show up in the, quote, needs grading status in my Grade Center after 3 posts. If a person does not complete all 3 posts, you'll see an in progress icon in the Grade Center. Here you can add a due date, and you can associate a rubric. Either select a rubric that already exists in your class, you can create a new rubric, or you can create from existing, meaning that you can select a rubric that you use somewhere else and you can edit it to update it for the current discussion. If the due date is set, submissions are accepted after that date but are marked late. We'll give an example of selecting a rubric. Once a rubric has been added, you can manage a rubric. You can use the pencil icon to edit the rubric. You can view the rubric here. You can determine how to use the rubric for grading or for secondary evaluation. And then here you have the option to show a rubric with scores, to show the rubric to students without scores. The default is not to show students the rubric. I usually select yes with rubric scores to give them the most information possible about how I grade. You can click the red X to remove a rubric association, which severs the connection to the rubric but does not delete the rubric itself. If the rubric has already been used for grading in this assessment, removing the association will also remove those evaluations, and the attempts will need to be regraded. The next category of settings is subscribe, and the default option is to allow members to subscribe to a forum and to include a link to a post. What this means is that when another participant posts into a forum, then anyone that is subscribed to the forum will then receive an email in their external email with a link to the posts. Even though there is a link to the posts, this will just actually bring the participants to the login page, and then they'll have to navigate themselves to the discussion board. The next category of settings is create and edit. Allow anonymous posts has a strike through it at the moment because this is a graded discussion and you can't grade anonymous posts. Allow author to delete own posts. You can select that and authors can delete posts that have no replies. Allowing an author to edit own published posts here is an option. For both of these options, you'll want to consider that at any point someone might post something and then delete it, where other students may have seen what that student has posted, but you may not have seen it. So if you have a discussion-heavy course where the issues that you're discussing might be sensitive, you may not want to use these options. You can also allow members to create new threads, allow file attachments, allow users to reply with quote, and then forcing moderation of posts. If this setting is enabled, then you'll see that moderation queue that we saw earlier in the video. For additional options, you can allow members or yourself as the instructor to tag posts, or you can allow members to rate posts. If you do choose to use either of these options, it's important to let students know what they are to be used for and to establish guidelines for how they should be used. Once you have created a forum, the forum will appear at the bottom of the discussion board, and you can drag it into another location. Depending on how you decide to organize your course, you can either have students post in discussions and have them find those discussions in the discussion board, or you can create a link from a discussion forum that you've created in a content area. I'm going to show an example of how to create a link. So I want to put this example discussion into the example module. I'm going to go to the example module and click discussion board, and I'm going to select link to discussion board forum. I can also link to the discussion board page, which is the page that we just saw, or I can select a specific discussion board forum. and the one that I just created was called Example Discussion. Another option here is to create a new forum, which we've already gone through. I'm going to select Next. And here I can add information in the link. I can set the options, track number of views, date restrictions, and select Submit. And again, the example discussion will appear at the very bottom of the list. And then you can just move it to the place where you would like students to find it. Something that's important to note, if you do choose to use a link to a forum, when you click on the link, it bypasses the discussion board and the instructions that you posted are not immediately visible. In order for students to see the instructions, first they must choose Create Thread, and then under Forum Description you'll see the instructions. We'll go through an example of how to create a thread. So click Create Thread, type in a subject. The full content editor is available. Here, YouTube videos, Flickr photos, SlideShare presentations, and other options are available to accompany the posts. You can add an attachment, and then you can submit. Let's look at an example for assigning threaded grades. When you have chosen to grade threads, the Create Thread option is only available to instructors. To create a thread and determine how you'd like it to be graded, type in the subject, the question you would like to add, or the instructions for responding, any attachments, select the Grade Thread button, the points possible, at how many posts you'd like the participant to show up as in the need grading status in the gradebook, the due date, any associated rubric, and then submit. The newly created thread appears in the forum. If you enabled grading, two functions appear in the grade column. When you're in List View, you can see the functions. Grade Thread to evaluate the posts, and then click Grade to enable grading for a thread and assign a value. Next, we'll take a look at moderating discussions. As an online instructor, your role is to facilitate the conversation and exchange of ideas on the discussion board. You need to be sure that students feel comfortable to share while also monitoring responses and keeping everyone focused and on track. At the same time, you want to be careful not to dominate or impede the flow of the discussion. Here are a few suggestions for finding the right balance between guiding the conversation and leading it. First, you want to ask probing questions that lead to other perspectives or ask for clarification. Second, you don't need to respond to every student post or rush to fill in any kind of silences. If given the opportunity, students will contribute rather than depend on you for answers. However, it is important to engage students when lulls occur. You can redirect tangents to the appropriate topic. You can also reinforce authors whose posts meet expectations. Next, you can acknowledge efforts by those taking brave steps outside of their comfort zones. Another way to support authors whose posts are meeting expectations. And you can also reply privately to students when dealing with individual issues or online behaviors that you would like to see change. Students and instructors can be in different roles when moderating discussions. Let's take a look at those roles. In a forum, each user has a forum role and can only have one role per forum. By default, instructors have the role of manager and students have the role of participant. You can assign forum roles to limit access to a forum or to help with forum administration. When you're logged in as an instructor, you can't change your own forum role. So let's review the steps for assigning forum roles. First, access a forum's action link or contextual menu and select Manage. On the Manage Forum Users page, a list of users appears. Access a user's contextual menu and select a new role. If you want to show only those users with a single role, make a selection in the Display Forum Role drop-down list on the action bar and click Go. Or, change multiple roles at one time, select the user's checkboxes, and point to the Edit Role menu on the action bar to access the drop-down list. Select the checkbox in the header row to select all users. This is the checkbox in the header role. You'll see for student 2, I changed their forum role, and the new role appears in the forum role column for the user. Click OK to return to the discussion board. Alternatively, you can click the forum title in the breadcrumbs to return to the forum. You can look in the resources folder that accompany this video for definitions of each of the roles. The 4 roles are moderator, grader, manager, and builder. Moderators can delete, edit, and lock all posts in any forum, even if the forum does not use the moderation queue. If you use a moderation queue, a moderator approves or rejects posts in the queue before they are made available to users. Users with a course role of instructor or course builder are granted this forum role by default. The next role, grader. Graders can read, reply to, and grade posts. The grader role has some access to the Grade Center. Graders cannot view their own work. Users with a course role of grader are granted this forum role by default. For the role of manager, managers have full control over the forum and can change the forum settings, moderate posts, and assign roles and grades. Users with a course role of instructor or teaching assistant are granted this role by default. And finally, builder. Builders can edit, copy, and delete forums, but not grade or manage forums. Inside a forum, a builder can perform the same action on posts as an instructor, with the exception of grading threads. Builders can create new threads in a forum. Builders can enable grading for a thread and type a value. And users with a course role of course builder are granted this forum role by default. You may wish to moderate posts if you feel that there's a potential that you might want to have some interaction with students before the posts actually are published to the public discussion board. You can choose to moderate a forum when creating it or by editing an existing forum. You can only review posts added after enabling the forum moderation. If you do not assign a moderator, the manager role must take responsibility for approving posts in a moderated forum. And by default, that is an instructor. So let's take a look at the quick steps for moderating posts. So access a forum's contextual menu, or the action link, and go to Edit. And we're going to take a look at the settings. On the Edit Forum page, in the Forum Settings section, you want to make sure Force Moderation of Posts is selected. After users submit posts, access the forum. Go to Moderate Forum, and the moderation queue page will appear. The posts appear in alphabetical order by title. Click the column title, and then you can select Moderate. On the Moderate Post page, read the post and select Publish or Return options. Published messages are immediately posted to the thread, which means they become public. Optionally, you can type feedback in the text box. You can use the content editor functions to format the text, link to files, and include external links, multimedia, and mashups. Though feedback is optional, this is an opportunity to provide guidance, ask questions, redirect a student's focus, and explain why a post has been returned and what you would like them to do to resubmit. Once you're finished with that, click Submit. Returned posts no longer appear in the moderation queue. For students, in Tree View, students will see their return posts in the forum. They can expand the post using the plus sign. If feedback was included, students can see why their posts were returned. On the thread page, returned posts display the word returned next to the post title. From the thread page, students can edit their posts while viewing the moderator's feedback and resubmit them. The posts are returned to the moderation queue. Moderation queue appears next to the post title. You can change the status of a thread to keep students focused on relevant discussions and to help organize a forum containing many threads. When a user creates and submits a thread, it is assigned as a published thread, as long as it hasn't gone into a moderation queue first. Let's take a look at changing thread status. Access a forum and change to List View. Select the checkbox next to each thread requiring a change of status. You can select multiple threads or select the checkbox in the header to select all threads. In the Thread Actions drop-down list, select a new status for the selected thread or threads. Alternatively, you can access the thread's contextual menu or action link and select a thread status. Options here are to publish, which makes threads available to all users if they're in draft form, You can hide a thread from immediate view but still allow users the option of reading the threads. You can make a thread unavailable. You can lock a thread, which allows users to read the thread but not edit or add to it. Locking a thread allows you to assign grades without users updating or changing posts. And you can unlock a thread. The change will be updated in the status column. In this section, we'll take a look at managing discussions. Here we'll present techniques for managing the discussion board and the content within forums and threads. For example, to keep students focused as the term progresses, you can edit forum settings or organize forums and threads to attract attention once again. Here we'll look at changing forum availability, edit descriptive information for forums, edit forum settings as the discussion progresses, copy discussion forums, organize forums and threads, and add tags to threads. As the discussion progresses, you can solve some discussion issues by editing forum settings. For example, if students are posting to the wrong topic, fine-tune the forum name or description to clarify the forum's purpose. To edit a forum, go to the action link or the contextual menu, click Edit, and on the Edit Forum page, you can change the forum's name, description, availability, and settings. Once you finish with that, click Submit. Next, we'll take a look at copying forums. You can copy discussion forums and add them to the current discussion board or to a group discussion board in the same course. Copying does not delete the content from the original location in a course. You have the option to copy a forum, the settings, and the post, or to copy just a forum settings. Again, you'll go to the forum title on the discussion board and click the contextual menu, and then select Copy. On the Copy Forum page, type a name, select the option to copy either entire forum or forum settings only. And here I like the forum settings for my first intro discussion, so I'm going to choose that. And then in the location box, select a discussion board to copy to. As I mentioned earlier, there's one main public discussion board, and then for each small group that you create, when you enable the discussion tool, a separate discussion board is created for that for each small group. So let's say I would like this intro to go into example presentation group number 1. Once you click Submit, on the discussion board page, the copied forum is added to the bottom of the list, and that one will be added to the bottom of the list of the discussion board forum in the small group. Next, we'll take a look at organizing forums and threads. You can help students focus on the most relevant content by reorganizing your discussion board. When you create a forum, as we've already covered, it's added to the bottom of the list. You can move the current forum to the top or delete forums that are no longer relevant. You can drag and drop forums into different positions, or you can use the Reorder Forum tool to move forums around. You can also delete forums and threads. When you delete a forum or thread, all content is permanently deleted. You will not be able to refer to the posts if a student wants to dispute a grade. For a less permanent solution, you can make a forum unavailable. When you delete graded discussion content, you determine if the grade center column and scores are also deleted. Let's take a look. Access the forum or thread's contextual menu and select Delete to permanently delete forum or thread content. Here you'll have a question asking you if you're sure this is what you want to do. Select OK on the pop-up window. On the Delete Confirmation page, you have two options. If you do not select the checkboxes, the grade forum or thread is deleted, but the grade center column and scores you assigned are retained. For example, if you graded students' posts and want to keep the grade center column for the final grade calculations, you can do that. If you delete the forum or thread, you retain the grade center column. You can delete that column from the grade center at any time. Your other option is to select the checkboxes. If you do so, the grade center column and the forum or thread are deleted. For example, if you do not want to include the grade column in the discussion post in the final grade, you can safely delete both. So I'm going to delete them both, click Remove, and this action is final. You can also go to a thread page and delete individual posts within a thread using the delete function. This action is also irreversible. Any replies to posts you are deleting will also be permanently deleted. So again, going to a discussion forum, and if I wanted to delete a thread, I could either check the box here and click delete, or I could go to the contextual menu and select delete from the drop-down menu, and all of those actions are final. Next, let's talk about tagging threads. Tags are text labels that act like bookmarks. You can see them over here. You can tag posts to group similar messages together. For example, if the subject of scientific notation is discussed often, you can tag each post on this topic. Students can read, filter, and search messages using these tags, but they cannot create tags. Tags are created by the instructor. In order to do this, you must enable allow post tagging in the forum settings so that you can create the tags. The quick steps for tagging threads: first, access the forum containing the threads to tag. So we've got those here. And then in list view, select the boxes for the thread or threads to tag, and you can select all the threads in a forum by selecting the checkbox in the header row. On the action bar, click Collect. On the collection page, you can filter or sort your results. You can type a tag into the box next to where it says Tags. You'll see on the collection page the tag you provided appears below each message you selected. If you provide multiple tags, all appear. You can include more tags following the same steps. To delete a tag, click the red X next to the tag. Back on the forum page, all tags appear in the Tags column. The column is only visible in list view. You can also go up to the action bar and hover over the Tags button and either show all tags, or you can look at posts with particular tags.